Today, we're going to be talking a lot about how to get a really good team or a really good group of creators to help make content for your brand. We're also going to be going into details on how to sell better on TikTok and how the importance of it is continuously growing. Please welcome Jordyn Levine.
What an intro. Good to be here, Pete. Thank you. Thank you for having me back on the Velocity Sellers podcast. One of
Thank
my favorites.
Thank you for being a guest. Also, one of our favorites to have you on. It's always a good time getting into the yucking it up about AI, about TikTok, about Amazon, whatever it is. So,
Always. I feel like every single time we have one of these chats, there's things that have just changed so fast. There's always things moving and grooving. So it's always exciting to catch up and to hear where we're at.
I feel like I could have you on once a month and there would still be enough to talk about. And we'd still have to work on cutting the episode down because there would just be so much to get into. Because there's always something happening in our world. We know that as e-commerce people, there's always something happening, something new on whatever platform it may be. But excited to get into more about TikTok, a little bit about Euka, and a little bit about Amazon as well, of course, to cover everything, and also the new AI religion. So we'll get into it. We'll start right away. What's been going on in your world? What's happening at Euka? What are you guys seeing? What's new, Scooby Doo?
So it's a loaded question. It's a loaded
Of
question.
course.
Honestly, things are moving super fast at Yuka. We're constantly shipping out new features. So feel like as TikTok Shop evolve, the sellers are getting more sophisticated. They need more and more tools, and Yuka is really just keeping up with that. So constantly adding in new features to double down for how brands can work with creators. I think like you and I probably first spoke about TikTok Shop almost a year ago. And it's crazy because the landscape really has changed. Like a year
Right.
ago, you kind of just reach out to creators, offer them commission, and it was working. But now there's over 3 million creators on the platform. So things have gotten definitely a lot more crowded on the platform, so a lot more reasons to use AI and for sellers to have to, figure out new ways of doing the same things they were doing a year ago. I think with AI, there's always new learning curves, but always just so much new opportunity and so much that can be done. And like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, we didn't know about this open claw, and now 2 weeks later, we have the open claw. I
Right.
already am speaking with brands who have OpenClaw doing different things in their business. So AI is moving fast. So I would say Yuka is definitely we're keeping up.
Keeping up. Love it. Love it. Now, there's a lot.
What else can we do?
What else can you do? Either swim or drown, or sink or swim. There's a phrase. I don't know. But it's very the AI world is always evolving. We all know this. It's constantly shifting on how you use it on Amazon, on TikTok, on all these other things. Um, I'd love to get into some of the new things that are happening at Yuka, if you can share, or we can talk also about some of the big pieces of the what's been happening on Amazon in this beginning of the year and how there's been a lot of pressure on a lot of different sellers and maybe how they can escape some of these pitfalls using AI. But um, let's get into some new Yuka stuff. Is there anything you can share, screen, on what's been happening? I was supposed to just be a smooth transition there, but yeah, is there anything we can share on what's happening on your end and what we're seeing for this? We're a month and change into the year. We're getting closer and closer to the big holidays, even though they seem far away. They never are. What's something that
Never.
Yuka is doing to help sellers prepare for the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's a great question. On the topic of AI, we've really doubled down on our AI creator search. So, really, really helping sellers to find the right creators to promote their brand. As a creator myself, like I get like 2,000 messages a day from brands, and I don't have time to respond to all those messages. Half
Right.
the time, I don't even open them. So, Yuka's definitely noticing that is more of a problem. As more creators join the platform, more things are getting fragmented. It's really hard for brands to get in touch with creators, which means brands need to ultimately send creators messages that are going to make their eyes open wide and be like, whoa, that's a great message. That's something that's worth me responding to.
Hmm.
So we've really focused on our AI creator search to do that, which allows you to find literally exactly what you are looking for. So I can share my screen, I'll show you how it works, but think like super, super specific. Let's say you have a shampoo that is made for women with red hair and you need women with red hair who speak Spanish. We can get pretty granular and find anything within our AI creator search. So I'm going to go in here and type in woman with red hair, just to show you exactly how it works. And we're scraping TikTok to pull in every single video where we see a woman with red hair. Lots of beautiful red hair. And then the nice thing is next to the creator, we got a little snapshot. So you can see exactly who they are, the amount of followers they
Right. The
have, the revenue
stats.
they've done, and if
Right.
they're a match for your fit. So, okay, we got woman with red hair. We have 507 women with red hair here. But let's say you need woman with red hair who speaks Spanish.
Mhm.
We can get super, super granular on our AI creator search. So we can go here and look for woman with red hair who are Spanish. We can look for woman with red hair who have generated at least $1,000 of GMB in the last month. So this allows you to get so specific so that when you're reaching out to creators, your messaging can be just as specific. So let me just load this here. Okay. So here we see all these creators who are creators with red hair, who speak Spanish, who are exactly what we are looking for.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of what Yuka can do. It allows you to get so specific so that you can reach out to the right people. So if a brand is reaching out saying, "Hey, I love your content. You have beautiful red hair and you speak Spanish. You're exactly what we're looking for." That message would make a creator respond.
Right.
90% of my messages and my DMs as a creator just say, "Hey, we love your content." And that is just not compelling. And Yuka knows that. We have our creator community. We learn from our creators, we listen to our creators, and they want to feel special. They want to feel targeted.
Mhm.
So our AI creator search is just like an absolutely awesome way to do that.
Mhm.
Um, Another cool one is I spoke to a seller this morning and they were selling a diaper caddy and they wanted to find moms with babies. So what we can do here is we can just visually scrape for moms with babies because, parenting and isn't, a category on TikTok shop.
Right.
But if we can scrape very specifically for moms with babies, these are the exact people who are going to be interested in a diaper caddy. So what you can do here is you essentially add these creators to a list, moms with babies, and then you can reach out and have that messaging be super, super targeted. So that's definitely something that we are seeing this year on TikTok Shop that we weren't seeing as much last year. I think last year you could spray and pray a little bit
Yeah.
more. And now we're in a world where things are having to get much more focused.
That's kinda nuts. I joked jokingly, but also it would be cool if it was real, that I would make some videos for Crocs. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I could just easily do this." I feel like it's a little bit more involved now, which is great. You want that engaged, involved content. Are you seeing the content also kinda take that increase in quality where, yes, there's if you said there's about 3,000,000 something creators, but we're seeing a lot more improvement in the videos they're creating or the level of depth they're going into. Is that happening as well, or is it really just a quality or a quantity increase?
I would say it's both. Like bottom of the funnel content really doesn't work the way it used to. I think people used to be able to go to a grocery store, say, "Hey, look at this product. It's $20 in store, but you can get it for 15.99 on TikTok Shop." And that content was working. They were generating revenue. But I think that bottom of funnel era is kind of coming to an end. And TikTok is really being used as more of a discovery channel, top of funnel education, and kind of learning that way.
Okay. I I love that because I want more engaged content as a consumer. I want something that is not just buy this because it's lower price. Not to spill my ideas. I'm sure Crocs is if you're listening, don't take this, but my idea was to walk around New York and find celebrities and say, "Why aren't you wearing Crocs?" and interview them, or do like a walking interview style where I walk around with them in Crocs and ask them questions. Thought that'd be good content. But anyway, different story,
That
different
sounds pretty
timeline.
awesome.
Wouldn't that be fun? You walk
I-
around New
I'll,
York
I'll
with
come
like
forward to the day.
Adam Sandler, and you're like, "Hey, Adam, how do you feel about these Crocs?" And the
I think
whole
Adam Sandler is just like a big croc guy.
and you
Like,
call
look,
crocking around with a celeb or something like that, crocking around the Christmas
I
tree. I
love
don't know,
it.
something. Wouldn't that be
I
fun?
I hope Hey Dude and Crocs are listening right now.
Yes, I'm gonna have to call him. I'm gonna have to call him. I just bought a pair of Hey Dudes. I'll have to say, "Hey, listen, we can do," and you can do Hey Dude, what's up, as like a Hey Dude version of that. Something. I'm in the wrong industry. No offense, Jake. I should be interviewing people on the street with footwear.
You
Yeah,
would kill it. Did you
yeah.
buy your Crocs on TikTok Shop? Because Hey Dude and Crocs, they're, like, crushing it on TikTok Shop.
I did not. I went to actually an in-store, which is crazy. I went to a outlet mall, which I feel like
Store.
don't exist. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? What a prehistoric
Crazy.
concept. But I'm glad to hear they're crushing it because I love my Crocs, and the Hey Dudes are comfortable. So they win.
They're awesome.
Big win.
I feel like,
Um,
honestly, like, Hey Dudes, I've been seeing them so much more in the last year, and I think it's probably has something to do with TikTok Shop. Like, they're killing it on
yeah,
TikTok Shop. They have great creators promoting content. I feel like, we had Uggs, we have Stan Smiths, all these shoes from the past that come back, and I feel like Hey Dude and Crocs are really getting a new audience. Think about, like, all these, like, young 12, 15-year-olds, like,
right,
Crocs were popular when they were kids, and I feel like they're all learning about them now, and Crocs is kinda having a comeback because they're
right.
educating people and putting themselves out there. So, halo effect in real life.
In real life, yeah, that's a good transition sort of into that of what are we what it's like, we just talked about that. I just talked about the billboard effect with somebody the other day too, about how billboards are so annoying because you can't measure the success from them. Are you seeing that? I know obviously you have TikTok Shop analytics and there's stuff like that, but are you seeing sort of a billboard effect with your partners of, "Hey, we put this TikTok video out. We got 100 units sold in that day on from the video." But then are you also seeing, or are you actually maybe even able to track some lift across the rest of the different accounts?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that it was a bit of a black box for a really long time, right? I
Mhm,
would speak with a brand and they'd say, "Hey, we had a video that went viral on TikTok Shop." We actually also got a lot of Amazon sales that day.
mhm.
Is it a coincidence? You know, it's up in the air.
Right,
I'd like to say, as someone who's on the TikTok Shop side, is that no, you're getting your product out there, we're educating people, we're showing people, and then they're going and buying it on Amazon. But at the end of the day, there was no real way to track that, and people were like, "Okay, Jordyn, that sounds great, but how do we know what you're saying is true?"
right.
So we took that data at Euka and we built a halo effect tracker, so we can actually quantify it and see it in real time. So people don't have to look at me anymore and say, "Hey, Jordyn, we hopes that's true." I can say, "Hey, go look at your Euka dashboard, and
Right,
the proof is in the pudding."
right. Love it, love it.
Yes.
I like billboards. I hate to say that as a marketing guy. I like billboards. I think people sleep on them. I think they are fun. A lot of lawyers use them now, which is obviously not e-commerce, but I can see why some e-commerce people wouldn't use them. But in terms of TikTok being your content billboard, in terms of TikTok being your brand billboard, I don't think there's any shortage of, again, good quality content you could put on there that would help increase your traffic to other platforms. And again, you can measure it now with the halo effect, which is great, to actually see that. Hopefully, that's right. So
Yeah, exactly, and, like, the thing about billboards is, like, I'm with you, Pete. I love a good billboard. I'm driving down the highway.
they're
I
fun,
always I always notice a good billboard. I'm
right?
that girl. But that being said, it's like you put the billboard up and you're not getting real-time feedback. Like, I think people like it. I hope people like it. I think people are looking at it, but the nice thing about TikTok is you can change that billboard. You can post that billboard one day, it gets a lot of views, it gets a lot of likes. Okay, let's do another one that's similar. Or that one didn't do well, let's change the hook. Let's change the angle. So that's the awesome thing about social commerce is that it gives you a quick way to adapt and to learn. You can quickly see what's working and quickly see what's not working. Like even if you go live and show a few products, like you can actually learn in real time what people like and what people don't like. So that is the beauty of, this using TikTok Shop as your billboard is that it can be interchangeable and you can really track what's actually happening. And I think TikTok is launching a new feature. I think it's next month or maybe in a few months where you can put that TikTok pixel on your Shopify website. So really being
Ooh,
able to track that incremental lift. So I think TikTok is awesome. It is to shop directly on TikTok Shop in the app. They know that people are shopping cross-platform, that TikTok is a marketing channel as well.
yeah, love it. I love that it's being integrated more into everything. And I know this might not be new, but I know that the Amazon TikTok integration is also in the news lately, um, or it has been in the news for the last couple of weeks here about them either TikTok cracking down on it a little bit of doing multi-channel fulfillment. They want you to use the TikTok fulfillment or fulfillment by TikTok. Can we get into that a little bit? I'm a little hazy on there. I've read some stuff, but do you know anything more on the TikTok side of things? Like they just really want you to use fulfillment by TikTok. They don't like multi-channel fulfillment. What's happening there?
Yeah, it's a good question and a question that I get every day, multiple times a day. It's definitely
Sorry to
created
add
some
to that.
noise. No, that's okay. It's definitely, created some noise in the TikTok world, right?
Right.
Um, I think really what it is that TikTok wants you to use their labels. So they're not actually saying you can't use a 3PL. They're not saying that. They're just saying you need to use a 3PL that's ERP uses our labels. So the second someone's not using, if you're talking to a drop shipper, that's the kind of person who can't be using TikTok shop labels. I think this is TikTok's way of saying, "Hey, we wanna be dealing with real brands and real businesses." I've had a lot of sellers kind of get really worried that their 3PL, isn't gonna be able to work anymore, and then they've actually looked in and they've realized that their 3PL uses an ERP that is flexible with TikTok.
Huh.
So, for everyone watching and worrying about that, I would highly recommend you give your 3PL a call and you ask them which ERP system they're using, because lots of 3PLs actually have the ERP system that will work and that you can use TikTok shop labels. Um,
Hmm.
I will say, Pete, like, I don't know about you, but when I see two products on Amazon and one says shipping in 1 day, that's Prime, and one says 2 weeks, I'm always gonna go for the faster shipping.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree. I wanna say no. I wanna say that I want the product that's better, but I want the product that's quicker. So, unfortunately, yeah, that is the case.
So I
Yeah.
think that's exactly it, and there's lots of people like you and I out there, as much as we'd like to say we want the better product, sometimes it's just like, "Okay, we want it now." It's an impulse purchase, it's speed, and I think with an impulse purchase, if people are scrolling and watching a video and making a buying decision in 10 seconds or less that they're gonna buy that, they definitely don't wanna wait a week for the product. So I think if TikTok fulfillment is going to be able to do 3-day shipping, like, we're still not at Amazon Prime 1-day shipping, as amazing that would be, but, like, 3-day shipping is still a big difference based on waiting a week. Like, I've ordered
Oh, yeah.
products from TikTok Shop, and I've waited a week, 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So, I think the customer experience on TikTok Shop is going to be better for customers if products can come faster. So, as much as it is a bit of a challenge and people have to, figure out a 3PL situation or figure out if they'll do Fulfilled by TikTok, ultimately, being in Fulfilled by TikTok, the customers are getting your products faster, and TikTok is saying that they're getting about a 30% higher conversion rate if you are using FBT.
Wow.
Um, there's something that some people might have heard of. It's called CBT, and it's Carrier by TikTok. And they'll basically, if you're a big seller and have a big business, they'll actually come to your 3PL, come to your warehouse, and pick that product up for you.
Wow.
So I urge everyone to really do some research, check all your options, take a deep breath, and check your options because there very well might be a way that works for you.
Okay. Love it. You're right. This puts back to the perspective of when we talked last year, maybe a year and a half ago, about where TikTok Shop was at. It's like, oh, this fun little thing. You should put your products on there. It's cute. And now they're fulfilling orders. Now they have, or they're working on closing the gap on Amazon's logistics network, which is, they're probably one of the best, if not the best. Maybe competes with Walmart's, but um, that's very interesting to hear that they're working on that end. Very cool. Very neat.
Yeah. Curious, on your end, like you guys work with so many sellers, selling cross-platform, multi-channel, like, how has the response been? What are you guys hearing from sellers? Are they excited about Fulfilled by TikTok? Are they worried about it?
It's a lot of what you said about, are we going to be able to do this? Like, is our 3PL or is our warehouse going to be able to keep up with this? But a lot of the bigger brands are just like, whatever you got to do. We've got a lot of, not to brag, but we got a lot of people that just trust us. That's just say whatever works the best, go for it. But a lot of people that are digging really deep on this are saying something a similar thing. So that's good advice that I can bring back to them about their 3PL. Like, hey, check to see if they have any good integrations with TikTok. It sounds like a lot of them would. Something that's like I don't want to say a simple thing. I don't want to make fun of people that want to make fun of 3PLs that don't have that, but it sounds like it should be an easy transition. So yeah, great question. We're not seeing a lot of complaining yet. It's more just of a slight hesitancy on, can our 3PL do this? So it's
I
kind of
think for,
across the
like,
board.
yeah, I think for e-commerce sellers, like, everyone gets set in their way, right? They build their
Mhm.
processes, they build their scope of work, and they're like, "Okay, this is what we do, and this is how we do it," and the second something has to change, it kinda just shakes you, but I think, we're gonna look back a year or 2 from now, and then everyone's gonna be using Fulfilled by TikTok, and it's going to be like, "Ah, we forgot about this bump in the road," and I believe that TikTok's gonna get up to a place where Amazon FBA is, where it's just like, you don't use FBA, and it just kinda becomes the standard, and
Right,
I think that will ultimately be better for sellers and for consumers.
right. Well, I've got a fun one for you. If you were to launch a new brand today on TikTok, what categories or what category would you pick, and which ones are starting to see a really good lift, or which one do you think is the best for long-term success on TikTok specifically?
It's a good question. I think if we look back at 2025, health and personal care really stole the show. And I think the reason that was is because it's really demonstratable. You can put pads under your eyes, remove them, show the brightness under your eyes, right? We can put teeth whitening on, show the before, show the after, very demonstratable.
Hmm.
Near the end of 2025 and into 2026, the data is showing that women's clothing is really starting to pick up on TikTok Shop. So I think that is like really a rising category. And even if we look at like the top 10 list on TikTok Shop, we see comfort, right? Comfort hoodies, clothing. They have so many different items now, but the product that really got comfort to be so viral was that hoodie with the eye mask that you can wear under your hood on the plane. So you don't have to
Oh, wow.
pack an eye mask. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I just got it for my boyfriend because he always wants to use eye masks on planes, and this is awesome. It has the eye mask right in there.
Right.
You got a zipper on the side for your passport, no more complaining, "Where's
Hmm.
my passport?" It's awesome, but the reason it's so awesome is because it's so demonstratable. The creators can put it on, cover their face, unzip the zipper, zip it back up, and I think that is what's really, really, powerful on TikTok Shop is when you can show a before and an after, right? The before is someone who has to carry an eye mask, they have to carry their passport. The after
Mhm.
is, "Hey, we got it all together here." So, if I were to launch a product on TikTok Shop in 2026, I would launch a clothing product targeted to women that is extremely demonstratable. I can't tell you off the top of my head what that would be. I would need a few hours with Claude and ChatGPT, but
Mhm.
something where you can very, very visibly show a difference. I don't know if you remember, back in the day, this is quite a aging myself here, but I used to have these pants when I was a kid, and they were like pants, and they had a zipper that you could zip off halfway through, and they became shorts.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember
there you
those.
go. They were awesome. Those were the days. You didn't know if it was gonna be hot or cold. We're
Right.
good to go for recess.
Right.
But that is the exact type of product that I think would be super
Recess.
powerful on TikTok Shop. So maybe a modern day zipper pant short for woman.
Right. Something demonstratable. Maybe pants that somehow also turn into a skirt or
Now we're
something.
talking. I think
We'll
we might
we'll
have to
chat.
start a business together.
I'll have my people contact your people. We'll have
I
to talk
I
about
love it.
this.
I
But
love it, but
yeah,
that's exactly it. It's like something where the audience can see it and think, "Wow, that's cool." Click, buy it, and have it for themselves.
something demonstratable. I like the concept of that just because you know this obviously more than anyone else, but Amazon is the search engine, right? TikTok is a more of a discovery engine, I would say, unless you are
For
seeing
sure.
people searching for things on TikTok. I'm sure that's increasing. But TikTok is definitely the discovery side of things where people are scrolling, they find something they like, they might go search it on Amazon, they might go back to TikTok shop. Either way, do you think in 5, 10 years' time, when we're still doing these podcasts, do you think in 5, 10 years' time, consumers will maybe start to see their shopping journey differently as more of a I don't really look for anything. It finds me. It'll be a little bit more granola, or how do you think the process for finding products will change in the next 5, 10 years with TikTok and Amazon?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think even, like, Amazon is kinda doing the same thing with Rufus, right? Like,
Right.
all these platforms are helping us to find the product rather than us just searching for the product, and I think that's just it. I was just on TikTok the other day, and I got targeted by this protein bar, and I was like, "Okay, this is the exact type of product that I would buy," and, like, TikTok learned that over time, right?
Right.
I've looked at other protein bars, I've looked at this influencer who's this protein bar. I've purchased other products with beef tallow, and then they put right in front of me a beautiful beef tallow protein bar, and by the time that's put in front of me, like, I'm already ready to buy it because I've seen so much other content with it. So I think, like, that is, like, on the smallest scale of just myself this week, but I think definitely we're gonna be coming into more of a world where products find us. And I think, like, that's something that Amazon has kind of been, like, manufacturing over the years with, like, Amazon DSP and attribution and putting the products in front of the right people. But I think, like, putting products in front of the right people is, like, on steroids now. It is just at another level, and that is what the TikTok shop algorithm does. So I would not be surprised in, like, 6 months from now if I am seeing more products that I wanna buy just on my feed rather than me actually going and looking for them. I think that is already happening, and I would not be surprised if it happens more and more. Even, like,
Yeah.
on my TikTok shop feed, like, I'll look at if I go into shop, like, that entire main page, it's all things that I would buy. It's almost like a targeted store built
Right,
for
they know
Jordyn
you.
by TikTok.
Mhm.
Exactly. Like, I could probably go in there at any given time and buy one thing that is being shown to me. It's a custom store, and I feel like that's what social commerce is. It's giving you custom store built for you,
I can't tell if
as
that's
scary as
really
that is.
right, I can't tell if that's really cool from, like, a seller perspective of, like, "Wow, that's awesome." People might just find my product naturally, or horrifying from a buyer perspective of they know me, they know everything about me. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
So, it's a
Uh,
little bit of both. It's
it's
a
a little
little
bit of
bit of both
both,
for
right?
sure.
Okay. Glad I'm not going crazy. I think maybe, um, I really do take that the black pilled take on AI sometimes is that this cannot be good for anybody. It's only good for the consumer, or it's only good for sorry, for the seller. It's not good for the consumer to have all this data on them, but it is nice when, like you said, I don't have to go looking for something where I'm like thinking, I don't want them to read my mind, but if I'm thinking, oh, I need X, Y, and Z, and then it just shows up, the convenience is nice. But would I trade that for them knowing everything about me? We don't have to get into that. It's a whole different podcast, but it's an interesting thought. But it is cool that at least, again, they're not just taking our data and using it for nothing, I guess, right? I don't know.
I think it's a double-edged sword. It's like, when there's a custom store built for
Yeah.
you as a consumer, it's kind of like, "Whoa, this is everything I want. This is super cool." It's
Great.
also like, "Whoa, you're putting all these things in front of me that I don't really need to buy, but you're showing me that I might wanna buy them," which is kinda scary and probably not great for people trying to save money. Um, but at the same time, like, if I'm an e-commerce seller and I wanna find new people to buy my product and target a new audience, I think it's like it's pretty incredible. I think if you were to speak to a seller, selling protein 20 years ago and tell them, "Hey, in 20 years, we're gonna put your product in front of everyone who we know is gonna like your protein," like, it sounds kind of unbelievable.
Right.
But we're at a place where these things that we thought would never be possible are possible, and I think we just have to use them to our advantage as much as we can and try to just see the positive because, unfortunately, at the end of the day, we can't change anything.
Right. Can't beat them, join them. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
All right. I'm come back up off the doomer scale a little bit, the doomer button, but still there, still there. We'll see. We'll see where we are in another year. The rest of the year should be interesting.
I'm
I'm excited
excited
to
to
see.
see it.
Yes, ditto. Um, Sort of wrapping up on an AI question as well. And again, I don't have TikTok, so I'm not on there as much. My fiance does. She likes it. She hasn't bought anything on there, but she likes to just we like Disney content and all that stuff while we're down here in Orlando. Um, and we're seeing, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we're seeing a lot more AI generated stuff. Obviously, as AI gets more advanced and it can create more seamless videos, I fall victim to this all the time. I see stuff on Twitter and I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. It's insane. And it's AI. It's AI video. I don't learn about it till later. It's horrible. It's a very weird feeling to get duped like that. But we're seeing a lot more AI generated stuff that's more real. Do you think, another future related question, do you think the human element is gonna be as important as it maybe is now? Or is it just going to be does the human element matter as much as the hook of the video does, whether it's AI or human created? And maybe where do you guys at Yuka draw the line between automating logistics and replacing not logistics, but automating, and replacing the creative?
Yeah, it's a good question, and honestly, Pete, it's a tough question. We work with a lot of brands who will say, "I don't want AI videos, I want everything to be done by real creators." And then you look at one of their videos and they don't even know it's AI. That's the scary thing. It's AI is getting so good that sometimes it's hard to tell. So TikTok was, you have to let TikTok know as a creator when you post a video, you have to check a box and say you're using AI. But I think a lot of creators are just getting around that because they're not checking it off and the AI looks so I think it's just this balance of like how good is your AI and is the risk worth the reward? Because there are TikTok shop accounts out there where it's just posting tons and tons of AI content and generating tons and tons of money, but there's a risk they're gonna get taken down. I think the human element is valuable, right? Like, having someone, let's say, for example, someone's eating something. Okay, they're eating it, but, like, we wanna see, like, their emotions, the touch, the smell, like, how does their emotion look when they eat it? Like, if someone's eating, chocolate, they should be like, "Look, like, oh my god, this is so delicious," and it's
Right.
like, how can you train an AI with those emotion pieces? That I don't know, because I think there's a lot of different things. If it comes to, like, an AI trying on costumes, okay, cool, we can see what it looks like on different people. When someone's trying something, we wanna see emotion, we wanna see them smelling it, we wanna see them tasting it, we wanna see all these different things, and I think AI is getting to a place where they're starting to learn a lot and to replicate that. I don't know that there's any one platform out there that's really nailed it down. I think
Mhm.
a lot of these brands are, like, using HeyGen, using Nano Banana, using
Right.
so many different pieces and putting them all together to make the AI work, but I think that creators are still really valuable because at the end of the day, you can't communicate with an AI, you can't build a relationship with the AI, and, like, such a core part of TikTok Shop is, like, building creator communities, the founders speaking to the creators, sharing what's working, sharing what's not working. So, right now, I think creators are necessary, and you need to communicate with them and educate them, but also, I'm not an engineer, like, it's very possible that very soon from now, AI is going to be trained to do the same thing these creators are trained to do in Discord, so I think it's a tough question, and I think it really is, like, how good is that AI? Because if the AI is really good, people are getting away with it and not even knowing. I think the second it looks like AI, people are losing interest, but if the AI looks good, it's a it's a
It's
it's a
tough.
tough fight to fight.
I'm sure there are some videos where I said, "Oh, I get caught, I get duped." I'm sure there are some videos out there that I've watched and not even ever learned that they're AI. I just think that they're real. I believe that. I'm a big fan of the dead internet theory, so I think this AI is only gonna magnify it even more, but I'm hoping it stays out of the e-commerce side as much as, like, in terms of the, just, like, spam posting. I'm hoping that stays out of it as much as possible. I know TikTok is also sort of starting to crack down on some things as far as AI videos go, which is great. Huge. Good job, TikTok. Thank God he didn't get banned. Great. Where were you when TikTok got shut down for 12 hours? That's a fun question as well to ask people. Um, that's
Yeah,
like our like modern
that is a good that's a
event.
great question.
We were at. I remember it because it was very funny. Again, it wasn't on TikTok, but I was with my fiance and then our two friends that were visiting us in Dallas, Texas. We're at a mini golf place, and all of a sudden, everyone around us is like, "No, oh my gosh!" Like they're freaking out, and it got shut down for what was it, like 12 hours? I think maybe. Um, it was very funny. It's very funny seeing all their reactions of like freaking out, like, "What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna scroll?" Um,
You're t it's
it's very
it was
funny.
it was honestly crazy. Yeah, it's funny, like, how fast everyone realized what was happening, which just speaks to, like, how often everyone's going on TikTok.
Right.
Honestly, I think I was sitting at home and I was just it was, like, evening, I was on my phone and I was seeing, like, all these Slacks come through of people saying, Yuka's down, my messages aren't going out." And I started freaking out, I pull on my computer and I'm, like, texting the founders, I was like, "Hey, is Yuka down? Is Yuka down?" No one responded, I'm waiting for a response, I get on my phone, I go on TikTok, and I'm like, "Aha,
Can't
that's the problem."
right. Can't even open it. It wouldn't let you open the app or
Couldn't even
something. Yeah.
open it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it was definitely scary for a lot of people, right? Like, people sending all
Oh
this
yeah.
inventory to TikTok, creators have all this money locked up on TikTok.
Right.
Um,
I saw the doom scroller people. I saw the people that are just scrolling on it for fun. I can't imagine the
exactly,
reaction of the sellers saying, "I have all this inventory in there. I've got hundreds of millions of dollars of inventory in there. What am I gonna do?" So,
exactly. Like, if we were to imagine Amazon shutting down, like, that just sounds insane.
it'd be the end of the world.
It would be the end of the world.
People say, "Oh, all the just the power has to go out across the world for 24 hours and it be done." Imagine you can't get your Scrub Daddy order. It's
Oh,
game over. You're
I
done.
literally just got a Scrub
Yep.
Daddy order this morning.
I
That's
love them.
pretty funny you say that. Those things
Yeah.
are the best.
I'm actually
I've
more I don't know if you tried them. The scrub mommies that have the both sides, love, like, the gritty side and then the soft side of, like
Patty.
very nice, but
I
yeah, I
gotta
love
get
them.
myself a Scrub Mommy.
What a fun Shark Tank invention.
One of my
Yeah.
favorites.
One of
And
the only
also
ones I remember. Yeah.
so many good ones. I love seeing Shark Tank products on TikTok now. I'm like, "I remember
Yes.
seeing you on Shark Tank. I remember seeing you on Shark Tank."
Did they say, like, are some of them I'm sure some of their videos have to be them pitching it and then saying, like or, like, something like, "As seen on Shark Tank," or something. I'm sure that's a big, selling
Yeah,
point for that product. I would buy that if I saw it and I was like, "I don't need this," but it was on Shark
it
Tank,
was on
so
Shark Tank.
yeah. How am I
My
not gonna buy
thoughts
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think, like, that's honestly, like, I think the halo effect is, like, happening all over, even, like, Shark Tank, like,
Right.
I've caught myself watching Shark Tank. I haven't watched Shark Tank in years, but I'm seeing TikTok, I'm seeing, there's a bunch of, like, neurogum videos going viral of
Yes.
him on Shark Tank, and I'm like, "Huh, Shark Tank, haven't watched that in a while." Like, it's just interesting. Everything that is happening on TikTok is just kind of impacting the world everywhere you go. I met this girl and she started a brand and she just put it on TikTok Shop and then she got it in like 5 or 6 retail stores. And like they're selling it in retail stores because people are seeing it in TikTok Shop. And she was saying like it was just shocking to her. Like she kind of
Dang.
thought she could have a shot in retail. But we talk about the Amazon halo effect, the Shopify attribution, but it's like it happens everywhere we go.
Mhm. It's unique. It's definitely a unique platform, and it's definitely a unique halo effect as well. I think more so than I had some brands that went on Good Morning America back when I was a brand manager, and we saw a good lift from that, but it's nowhere near the same as if a TikTok video goes viral. Then that I mean, no one watches the news anymore, but, it's definitely it's unique. TikTok is very, very unique.
Yeah, it's so unique, like, I think, like, as an Amazon seller, like, people wanna be number 1 in their category, number
Right.
1 ranking, and it's like, that's awesome, but no one's learning about you that way and understanding how you work, right? It's like you're there because you've built up the ranking to be there, you have a great product, you're there, but it's like, if someone's typing in "scrub daddy," it's because they already know scrub daddy, right? Whereas, like, it's pretty crazy to see, like, young people starting their own business who, don't have nearly as much structure as an Amazon seller, but they're getting so much results just from these videos going viral. So, it's pretty incredible, like, to see what TikTok has been able to do for people.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting time. It's scary time, but at least it's not boring.
It is
I think we can all
definitely
agree on that. Whether you hate AI, whether you love AI, at least we're not bored.
we are definitely not bored. Curious to ask you, Pete, like,
Yeah.
what are you seeing with AI, on the Amazon side of things? How are you guys at Velocity looking at
Yeah.
AI? How are your sellers looking at AI?
It's been a lot more integration where we're doing a lot of GEO, like the generative engine optimization, where, we're doing a lot of, yes, you want your product to show up because now people aren't Googling things, they're chat GPTing things, or they're
Yep.
going on Gemini or Perplexity or Claude or any of them, the LLMs, saying, what's the best product for this? Yes, you want your product to show up there. But even more so than that, we want to make sure that we're helping those people in the next step of once they get to your page, converting there. And we're doing a lot on the AI side of identifying what demographics are coming to your page the most and how to optimize for them. I don't know if you know this, but we just got John Aspinall on our team. He's been doing a lot on the
Incredible
yes,
access to
yes,
the team.
that was a good snag. Um, and we've been doing a lot with him on the creative side on how to target these people better. So he's been a great help with optimizing these accounts, using the different AIs, using PickFu, Product Penny, all that stuff, um, to help make sure that we're converting at a better pace with once we get an influx of traffic from the GEO, from and optimizing for AIs, for Rufus, all this stuff. Once people land on the page, actually converting and not just saying, well, we got more people there from AI. It's we got more conversions from AI. So Amazon wise, it's interesting because Rufus is not they're leaning into it very heavy. It's not I don't think it's I like the story of Rufus. I've said it a million times on here, but I like the story of Rufus, but I don't know how well that will be integrated. Maybe in the next couple of years, it'll be a lot more seamless, like on TikTok Shop, where Rufus can say, "Hey, here's products we think you would like," right on the front page, and not just the regular app opening. Um, they just added, AI to the Alexas and all the other Amazon devices, so they're a little bit more, um, advanced there, which is great. They've always been able to add stuff to your cart, but I think you can do a lot more now, which is wonderful. And again, really optimizing for just where Amazon's moving on the AI side is what we're doing at Velocity. So
That's awesome. You guys at Velocity, you're always on top of the trends.
we
You always
try, we try. Amazon tells us things, and I try to bring it up on the podcast, and we try to stay on top. Yeah, but it's
guys you
tough.
guys you guys are always on top. I always learn something new and exciting when I listen to this podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's always good to have you on. You're one of the easiest guests to send that email of, "Hey, let's get you back on for another episode." So I really appreciate you always your willingness to do it, and also just how easy all of our interviews are. So
They're the best. Are you kidding? I would come and hang and talk to you on a podcast any day, Pete.
right, we have fun. We like to have fun here. That's the goal. That's the goal. Informative and fun. Mostly
And we're
fun.
gonna both be at an event together in a month from now, which is
Yes.
gonna be super exciting.
ASGTG, we'll have to get you on for our fun little bit that we're doing that we did at Innovate as well. So keep an eye out for that. I'll make sure I get you an interview there.
Okay, cool.
Um,
I'm excited.
and yeah, so I will see you. We'll see you in a month. Again, thank you so much for always being a guest. Always a great discussion, talking about AI, talking about how we're doomed, and talking about how you can sell better on TikTok in the meantime before we're doomed. So
There you go, exactly. There's always the high before the crash.
right, right. Jordyn, thank
Awesome.
you. I'll make sure to have Yuka's website and Jordyn's LinkedIn down below in the description. So check them both out, give her a connect, and check out Yuka if you're looking to sell better on TikTok and get better creators in the door. So
Awesome.
very,
Thanks for having me, Pete.
yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm your host, Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.